The 4-step buyer process to make sure you're working with people that want to work with you. Let me explain. I always coach agents that are working with buyers to make sure that they go through the 4-step buying process. And it's super important that we do the right things in the right order. That's one of the things that I've always learned from my coach, was everything has a sequence. And we have to make sure that we're doing the right things in the right order. So let me break this down for you. Every buyer, part of your business, the buyers have to go through the same process. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they're your friend. It doesn't matter if they are a referral or an internet lead or someone that came to an open house. It does not matter. Every buyer needs to go through this 4-step buyer process. And the reason why we have 4 steps, and the reason why we want everyone to go through this, because one of the most important things that you can do for your business is to systematize it. You want to make sure that you can duplicate the steps, and you want to make sure that you can repeat your success. One of the things I coach agents on is turning their brain into thinking about their business as a franchise, right? How do McDonald's operate? How do Starbucks operate? How do all of these large franchises operate across the globe? Well, they systematize their approach to providing the food, to making the food, to getting it all ready, to the menu. It's all the same. And that's how we want our business to be as real estate agents. We want to systematize it so that way everyone gets the same experience. For buyers, this 4-step buyer process is super important. It's going to do a couple things for you. It's going to make sure that you're positioning yourself as the authority figure with your client. It's going to make sure that you're showing yourself that you're the expert advisor when it comes to buying real estate. It's going to have them jump through a couple hoops that's going to allow you to weed people out. And it's going to ultimately allow you to show your client that you are the right choice for them when it comes to buying a home. So let's get into it. The 4-step buying process is 1, we need to meet with them face to face. Typically, this is going to be at a showing. Ladies, you have to be a little bit, cautious on this, but we don't sell over the phone. As salespeople, as real estate salespeople, as real estate agents, we need to think of ourselves more as an advisor, right? We don't sell our product or ourselves over the phone like most salespeople do. We need to get face to face. We need to make sure that they see how we are, how we act, how we speak, do we show up on time, all of those things. The number one way to get a buyer in front of you is by showing them a home. So that's the first step. And each step that we're going to go through is going to be a filter for your business, or a filter for you to weed people out. Some people are going to show up at this first face-to-face appointment, this first showing, and they may be late. Well, you may need to have a conversation with them as a real estate agent. They may no-show you at all for that showing. Great. That's the first red flag in my book. So the first step, and each step as we go, is going to filter people out, and it's going to show you how serious they are. So the first step, meet face-to-face. Typically, most likely, this will be at a showing. The second step, meet face-to-face again, but this is going to be your buyer consultation. This is going to be you doing this either over Zoom or in person at your office. To me, it doesn't matter which. What I do not want you guys to do is to do it at a public location or at a showing. The clients are not in the right frame of mind when they're in those two environments. If you're at a showing, they're thinking about the house still, right? Or they're thinking about houses in general. If you're at a public place, they have all of the other distractions going on around them. The second thing about going to a public place is if they no-show you, which some will, now you just drove to go to a public place and now you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You may get distracted and start jumping on social media, or you may get up and leave. The reason why I like doing it over Zoom or in the office is because if they do no-show you, and they will, you're in the office. You're in work mode, right? When I go to the office, I'm in work mode. So, you can spend that hour that you're going to spend with this buyer and just do work. The reason why I also suggest Zoom is it's still face-to-face. People are comfortable with that, and it lowers the barrier for them to meet with you. Now, again, the filtering process, right? We want these buyers to jump through a couple hoops. It's going to show you how motivated they are, how serious they are about buying a home. So if they no-show you during the consultation process, well, that probably tells you that they're not as serious as what they said they were. Because if they were serious, they would make it a priority to make sure that they were educated on the home buying process, educated on the real estate market, and educated on all of the programs and services that you're going to offer them as a client of yours. And when someone no-shows you or doesn't take that serious, well, that's another red flag for you as the agent. Maybe I shouldn't be putting as much time, effort, and energy into following up with this person right now. They may not be ready. So that's step 2, meeting face-to-face to do your consultation. Step 3, get them pre-approved. Doesn't matter where they're in the process, we got to get them pre-approved because we're going to see what exactly they can and cannot do with financing. They may have an idea, but that doesn't mean that's exactly what they can do. And you do not want to do this step prior to the consultation. Getting pre-approved is after the consultation. Now, let me explain why. If we do the pre-approval before the consultation and for some reason they can no longer get financing or something looks bad on their credit or for whatever reason they can't buy a home, you are not positioned at that moment as the person that's going to help them and guide them through the process of getting them pre-approved and ready to buy a home in the future. My mentor would always tell me, it's never no, it's just not now, right? So it's not you can't get pre-approved, it's hey, we just can't do it right now, but let's get a game plan in place so that way in 6 months, 8 months, 4 months, 12 months, whatever it is, you're ready to rock and roll. Now, the reason why we do it after the consultation is because the consultation, like I mentioned, is going to provide you in a light that you are an authority figure, that you are the expert advisor, that you are the guide to this lead or to this potential client as being the go-to resource and choice when it comes to buying a home. So if we push the pre-approval process to after meeting with us for the second time, and the lender delivers the news that they cannot get pre-approved to buy a home right now, that lead still sees you in the light of John's the expert, he's going to give me advice on what to do next. And most people want to be led and they want to know what the next steps are. So in that situation, you now are becoming a resource, right? Hey, spoke with my lender, they said that you can't get pre-approved right now, but it sounds like in 4 months if we do X, Y, and Z, we're going to be able to get you there. Let me get you connected with so-and-so that's going to help you through this process, right? Doing the right steps in the right order. Everything has a sequence. So you're also going to lose people during this step. Step 3 is going to filter some people out. Some people are serious about buying a home and just for some reason they can't, right? For financing reasons. And that's okay. We just add them to our pipeline because it's never no, it's just not now, right? So they could be future clients of yours. And the 4th step is asking them to work with you exclusively by signing a buyer agreement to establish your relationship. I think this is super important, whether you agree with buyer agreements or buyer relationships or whatever the case may be, that doesn't matter. There's something psychological that happens when you ask someone to sign a contract or an agreement to work with you as the go-to resource to helping them buy a home. They're making a commitment to you. And for you as an agent, you want to protect yourself. You don't want to be putting in all of this time, effort, energy, time away from friends and family to then find out 4 months later that this buyer that you were working with walked through an open house and ended up writing an offer with the listing agent. It happens all the time. The buyer agreement, again, is going to solidify your relationship with this lead. It's going to tell you that they trust you, that they see you as the right person to help them through this process. They don't have to sign it, but as the agent, I get to decide if I want to work with them or not, right? So the 4th step is just saying, hey, all that I ask is that, this document gets signed before our next showing and before the next time we go out, so that way we can establish our relationship. And if they don't sign it, guess what? You've spent maybe an hour and a half with them to get face-to-face to build that relationship. But I'll promise you that 90-95% of the people that you sit down in front of, if you do the right steps in the right order, if you articulate your value, if you articulate educating them on the home buying process, on what's going on in the market, if you position yourself as the go-to person, the go-to expert that has the resources to help them through this process, they are going to sign that buyer's exclusive agreement. I promise you. And they are going, in their mind, psychologically, they're going to say, I'm making a commitment to you as my agent. And you will lose people on that fourth step, and that's okay, but it's going to be a small people, because if they go through each step with you, chances of them signing that buyer's exclusive agreement is a lot higher than you not doing the right steps in the right order. So, next time you get a buyer, make sure you walk them through the 4-step buying process.